that when a woman who's pregnant gets murdered, most judges label that as a double homicide. We would all probably agree that if a man slips a woman and she doesn't realize it and she miscarries, that man probably deserves to go to jail. But the second, a woman decides to do it, it's like, oh, but it's her not ready yet, and it was her body, and she wants to have just open relationships because apparently we all hate monogamy.
Monogamy?
Monogamy?
You said monogamy. So I understand what you're saying.
It's a mahogany table.
So okay, so this is what I like to tell a lot of people in Twitter comments and whatnot, and TikTok comments when I try to tell people that they're being retarded is
reading your comments that I see you post on TikTok is really.
Oh really? No, yeah. Anyway, but so
you're fighting with people in the comments, and I'm like, Barry.
I find it fun. Okay,
Barry, they don't care.
I know. Well, no, that's not true. I get blocked a lot because they get put in a corner and they can't get out of the way.
No, they don't care to find the truth.
Oh, I agree with you there, but it still makes me feel better.
That's like a narcissistic trait.
It makes me feel better.
Bickering. It gives them dopamine to bicker.
Well, I don't think I'm bickering. I'm trying to educate people.
No. For narcissists, for emotionally
I thought you were saying me. Okay,
people, they get dopamine rushes off of bickering and finding quarrelsome, pointless fights.
Okay, well that makes sense, I guess.
That's why narcissists are the way that they are. That's why they get off of putting other people down.
Well, anyway, the point is my saying about abortion right now. I think in 50 years it'll be looked at worse than slavery because it's genocide. It is
I literally saw that exact comment yesterday.
No, well, I've been saying that for probably a couple of years. But yeah, I honestly think in 50 years it's going to be thought worse than slavery because all the science that has come out in the last 15 years about how babies feel pain, I think at 6 weeks, maybe even before that.
But Barry, the facts don't matter if the emotional,
here's the thing.
caring state is not there.
Well, and I also had another discussion. I was having I like to call them discussion. They're not really arguments because again, my whole purpose is trying to educate people. And so when I'm in the comment sections and stuff like that, I bring up a lot of sources and I go, it was Christian abolitionist conservatives who started slavery. And specifically, it was usually women that actually kind of sparked it. They were the ones that started slavery, but now the whole
not started slavery. Started the fight against slavery.
Sorry. Yes, thank you. I misspoke. But yeah,
women did not start.
And so,
slavery.
But I mean, we're still there as Christian conservatives, still fighting for the civil rights of unborn babies who are still babies, and just because they're in the womb doesn't make them not humans, and that's the problem. And more science again is proving this. Did you hear about the IVF thing in Alabama? I think it was.
Killing IVF has become killing an actual child.
Well, yeah, because it's been proven. Science literally has proven that life starts.
I've seen a lot of TikToks about that saying that it's going to harm the IVF community. And you know what? Honestly, that's a whole nother side of this argument. I'm not sure what I think of IVF.
I don't know too much about it. I'm not really against it. Because what about infertile people who can't get fertile, but they want to have their own DNA and their own child?
I don't know. I maybe kind of think that might be selfish.
It is.
And maybe
that's a valid point. I never thought of that.
I don't know.
Maybe there's a reason why you're infertile.
Both arguments, and then maybe I'm sorry, but what about your DNA is so great? Why do you want yours? What's wrong with
Well, my DNA is better than everyone else's, Savannah. Duh.
It just seems a little bit not utilitarianistic, but maybe not a racist, but maybe a little bit of a eugenicist.
I kind of like your. No, it's not eugenicist. I think I like your thing of just selfishness. I think that's the best way it is.
See, I know people who were conceived that way, so I'm treading very lightly right now because I adore those people and I do think they have a chance.
And so that's another thing though too. So
are valuable.
So just because science has gotten to the point to where it can technically create life outside of a human, and almost it's not like we're playing God, but we kind of are.
No.
Is that a bad thing? You just said
it right there. You just said it right there. Okay, you know that TV show House? There was just one episode where this girl, she needed a new set of lungs. And her brother had a pair, but her brother was already fighting another type of cancer. So the parents basically had to pick, save the daughter and give the daughter her brother's lungs, or save the brother. And so
Okay. The way you worded it was like he has another pair, like he's got a separate pair of lungs. Like, I don't think that works. But
no,
okay,
he has
I
a
understand.
separate other genetic issue, and she was supposed to be the healthy daughter, but she was actually hiding her issues because she didn't want to take away from her brother's issues that he had going on. So basically, House is trying to convince the parents to save the daughter because she had a better chance at surviving. The son was
a longer
basically
life, probably
terminal. Yeah. He was gonna die soon anyway, so they were like, "You should try to save your daughter." And the other, I can't remember what her name is. She was another character. She's House's she's House's boss. She goes, we can't do this. We can't tell these parents that we can play God. And House tells her, no, we started playing God when we started doing organ donations and organ harvesting.
I don't think that's playing God, though.
No, because she was talking about how we can't just like rip this kid open and take it. And he was like, no, we do that all the time. We open these people up. We do IVF. We take organs out. We put them in other people. We're playing God right now. And he's like, we're going to pay for it one day.
I completely disagree with that.
I don't know.
Because when you are an organ donor, okay, are you an organ donor on your license?
Okay, so I am, but my mom wants me to take it off because she doesn't want me to get sold on the black market.
Who cares? You're dead.
No. Barry,
they don't harvest your. No, you're not alive when they harvest your organs.
Barry,
you're dead.
No, it is a whole industry that they go after people who are still alive and have them be incubators for organs, and they're sold all over the world. That is a completely different topic for another episode.
That is. I agree that happens, but listen, what House? What that topic that you're saying with House is we don't just go into an alive person and take their organ and give it to somebody else. The person's died, and that person is a match for you. You're not playing God. You're basically taking a spare part of someone that cannot use it anymore because they're dead.
Okay, and all I'm saying is we've just entered a point into science where we are starting to tread very close on the line of playing God. I mean, we already have scientific evidence and experiments of the mixing DNAs of different species with each other and with humans. And at this point, I'm not. Yes,
that's
yeah, cloning too. You can clone your animal for a cool $30,000 to $50,000 depending on the species. All I'm saying is this is an area I don't really want to play with because this is just a religious level. I don't know what it means, and I'm perfectly comfortable with admitting that I don't know.
What you don't know what means? What do you mean?
I don't know the reprecations. I don't know what this does to us spiritually because there isn't a whole.
So you told me. Do you know somebody who was an IVF person?
I do.
And that person is a human being, correct?
Absolutely.
With their own soul and own everything, correct?
Yes.
So how is that any different than being? Well, IVF they put it in a woman anyway, right? Isn't that because it's not like it's like a
it's okay?
It's not like a sack baby.
They do have lab grown fetuses now. That's a thing.
To full term. I don't know if they go full term yet.
At that point, Barry. All I'm saying is,
but even if they did,
I don't know the spiritual repercussions of this. I don't know what this truly means because there's a whole level field and plane that our bodies are on, and then there's a completely different one that our souls are on. I don't know what this does. Okay, and I'm willing to admit that I'm not sure what the right answer is. I'm not sure what's wrong or what's right in this case because there's not exactly a verse in the Bible that says, hey, this affects your spirit. This can hurt this. This does this. This is the way that Satan gets his way into the... I don't know. I don't know.
Well, see,
There's just something trippy about it that I'm kind of weary of. That's why I don't have a solid opinion on it because... on one hand, it's a beautiful thing that gives lots of people who struggle with infertility a chance at a beautiful family. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about doctors being able to.
I'm not saying you're saying this at all, and I could just be thinking this.
Mm-hmm.
That person who was, let's just say, scientifically grown in a lab. Again, I don't know if they fully do that or they just, start it and then put it into a woman. I don't remember. I don't know that stuff very much at all because I never studied it.
Dish, and then it goes into the uterus.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, I'm thinking of you're scientifically grown from a test tube all the way to birth, where you're birthed in inside of a scientist.
Okay, but that's starting to become a thing.
My point. I agree with you, and I believe that's where we can be going if we haven't been there already, kind of secretly. But my point is, if that person. Does that person still have a soul or not?
I don't know. Because that's starting to become a thing for women who don't want to deal with the pregnancy and the hormonal changes.
Oh,
and
that's
the fact
where
that
we're
your
going.
body is going to be saggy. See, I don't know.
Have you ever seen The Island? It's
No,
it's
but I
Ewan
know-
McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. To
I know
where
the premise of
it's
movies
an
like
awesome
that.
movie.
Yes.
It's like I think it's like a late, middle 2000s. It's a great film.
Ugh.
But basically, the whole premise of the movie. I'm just going to spoiler alert here, by the way,
Yeah,
for the movie The Island. Don't listen to me for the next 30 seconds. But and I don't think you're going to care if I tell you.
I don't.
The whole premise is rich people they're cloning themselves and basically for organ donations or pregnancies because they don't want to do it themselves. And so if they get in a car accident, they harvest this person, but the clones need to be alive. They have to have actual own personalities, which they are separate from their human counterpart. And and that's the whole thing is they end up killing them and harvesting their organs because they got in a car wreck. And
There's so many movies and TV shows that have that exact
it's
same
such an
premise,
interesting like thought process. Like
I really
I don't know if
have
there is an
any more
answer. I'm not
thoughts
asking.
on
I'm
that.
just
I'm comfortable with my answer of I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have there's just something off. Something's off about it. I feel it in my soul. I love the people that exist because of it, but then on the organ donations and the IVF and the growing children in labs,
So this whole IVS thing again, the reason is they're trying to make it to where you can't kill that fetus because it's actually alive at conception, even if they scientifically do it.
I believe that from the moment of conception, that is a unique
Correct.
human being.
Correct.
In a different stage of life than you and I are at right now, which we are all at completely different stages. But the idea of
it's heavy.
It's
heavy stuff. I know
that we can do that, and that we have the ability to do that. See, all I can think about is how did we figure out how to do that? Who did they do that to at the very beginning to perfect that? Because the way that they did it back in the 1940s were on Jews in Nazi concentration camps. That's how they figured out a lot of that stuff.
Correct.
And like I said earlier, to me,
which is horrible, by the way. Just a disclaimer.
It absolutely
That's not good.
It really isn't. Nazis have ties to way too many things. But like I said earlier, an end does not justify the means. And if something, in order to get the knowledge that you have to do it, takes a true evil and monstrosity to occur, should we really be doing it?
No.
That's my question.
I don't know.
Because if you had to do all of these evil,
I would say no, but I
spiritually
don't
wrong
know.
things to do it, to get that knowledge, should we be doing that? Should we even know how to do that? Because we all know back in Genesis, Satan tempted Eve to eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. Eating of that tree gave us knowledge of things that we were never supposed to have. The fallen angels, aka the Nephilim, that came down and had children with the daughters of Eve in Genesis, gave us knowledge, technology, and things that we were never supposed to have. So is this one of those things that we are not supposed to have? I don't know.
Would you agree?
I don't know the answer.
Well, okay. On that though, too, would you agree that fire is a good thing for humans? Because that's allegedly that's the whole trope of, Icarus came down and gave
fire was one of those
that's
things.
like a technology that the Nephilim kind of gave. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's the whole thing is like medicine that we've learned that can actually protect you and keep you alive. Is that a bad thing? We did create that.
No.
If we just let nature grow, you would never use any medicine, non-chemical or not. Right?
See, the thing is, I believe that God gave us natural, organic, found in nature things on Earth, and we have dominion over them to help humans thrive. Okay?
Correct.
As far as the knowledge goes that the fallen angels gave to man regarding forbidden technologies, knowledge, and astrology, and all of those different things, are we truly better off because of knowing them, or has it opened us up, and especially our spirits, up to something that we were never supposed to be involved in the because that opens up a whole other gray area that I don't think anybody can truthfully answer, and I don't think anyone will until we're all dead and we're in heaven, and we can be like, all right, dude, what was your plan with all this?
I don't expect to answer for this, but what if we were supposed to?
What if we were supposed to?
What if
that
was God's plan the whole time was to let us be able to create our own life on our own?
His plan from the very get-go was
I don't know if that's true.
Will.
I don't know if there's an answer to that. It's me thinking right now.
Here's my answer to that. God's original plan was free will. He 100% knew what we would do with the free will, but he still gave it to us. And that was because he truly loved us, and he wanted us to have the ability to choose him out of free will because we actually loved him. He knew what we were going to do with it, and he knew that the majority of us would use it for evil, but a truly loving creator gives you the option to make mistakes, but he also gives you the ability to repent of those mistakes and to give it up to him, and he wipes your slate.
I would agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I don't think he ever wanted, per se, that stuff to happen, but I think he absolutely knew that it was going to because of the sinful, corrupt nature of humans in general.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a trippy thing, though. All of this is very, like, gray zone, and somebody who would sit
I don't know if there is
like,
a right answer.
I know the answer to it, I would question them. I'd be like, no, you don't.
Again, I don't know the right answer.
I don't know the right answer.
Yeah, I think it's a hard topic, but when it comes down to this, to where, I mean, the reason why I bring it up too is because a lot of the pro-abortionists, and yes, I do call them pro-abortionists. They're not pro-choice. They're pro-abortion.
A choice is chocolate versus vanilla. That's murder.
So they're all upset that this will, cause a lot of issues. Miscarriage is now characterized as murder, which is not true at all.
And no one can help a miscarriage, y'all.
But it's interesting. I don't know. Shannon, did you have something, or do you want to add it now, or it passed? I'm sorry. I know we were just into okay, but anyway. So yeah, I don't know.
This is what happens when you don't give her a microphone. That's when she finally has a thought.
Well, she wasn't here when we were setting it up, so
you got to give her a microphone 24/7.
We should just always have it set up no matter what.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but anyway, so. Okay, we're over an hour, and I wanted to go a little longer because that was actually, I really liked that ending. It was a good thought. But anyway,
we should honestly have an entire show about all of the spiritual, questionable, gray area stuff.
Well, let's do it.
That we don't fully understand. We're going to talk about it.
Well,
anyway.
We can talk about it. We can talk about whatever we want. Again, this is all a new format that we're trying to learn. So, if there's any topics anyone's listening to,
that anyone wants to hear us talk more about, even if we don't know.
For what it's worth, and I'm a complete and utter moron, don't get me wrong, but I do have a degree in Bible and went to school to go learn Bible. I do know a lot about that stuff. I do not know a lot about that stuff because
the Bible says we're two or more gathered. And we are two or more.
And so, but I mean, there's a lot of topics we can talk about. A lot of conspiracy stuff too. Nephilim, Anunnaki, all that stuff too.
Can we do one on the Anunnaki?
We can talk about it. But yeah, but anyway, so.
I want to do it about the ice wall and about the giants that live past it.
Yeah, we can talk about that too if we want to.